They are a far better team with Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Okay? Dak is a far better quarterback
Everybody
than
agrees.
Cooper Rush.
Yes.
They're scoring 12 more points a game with Dak, all right? They're far more dangerous with Dak than Cooper Rush. But you can't tell me.
Here we go.
If they lose this game, that there won't be some talk now about Cooper Rush.
By you.
No, not by me.
Not by Bruce.
No sane and reasonable person would say put in Cooper Rush.
No.
But there's a lot of insane and unreasonable people out there, particularly Cowboys fans. And here's what they will say.
Now we're
They will say we were 4-1 with Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
We're 2-3 with Dak. They will say we beat Cincinnati and the Giants. Now that's a good win. With Cooper, and we lost to Green Bay.
I'm confused real quick. Are you saying this?
No. I mean, those are facts.
No, he's not.
Wait, what are you talking about?
There are other people saying it.
I like Dak.
Quarterback wins again.
No, I'm just saying that you're telling me this won't be the conversation.
Which defense does Dak get? The Cooper Rush defense that averages 15.8 points given up, or the one with Dak that allows 21 points?
I'm with you, Jet. Let me just throw this at you because I want to hear your answer. And I agree. All right. But what I'm saying is they will say they seem to play more complementary
Well, that's a question
football,
that I wanted to ask you.
With
is
Cooper,
because you and I are
fair.
in the same church of quarterback wins or fake.
Yes.
Well.
But so we don't have to have that debate right now. But do you think, having played on a bunch of different teams with different quality of defenses, that there is an element possibly of the defense relaxing a bit when Dak is out there that has impacted how the defense has played? That when Cooper was out there, they felt like we have to win this game ourselves? Or do you think it's just random chance that it's gone like this?
I think there's a little bit of that, but I think it's more random chance. There's also been injuries, like Anthony Barr's injury has moved Micah Parsons now a little bit back to linebacker, not rushing the passer. I think teams have figured out maybe how they want to pass rush because they do some unique things like that. So there could be a little bit of that. Like, we don't have to do as much because we know Dak can score, but they're not, they're scoring okay with Dak Prescott in. But this game to me is about, can they pass the ball? The Vikings have the 29th pass defense in the NFL. If the Cowboys cannot score via the air, then you're going to start getting those questions. I'm not part of that group. But you're going to start getting those questions.
I told you.
I'm definitely not part of that group.
No.
Part of Cooper Rush.
But so you don't think they should, I think part of their problem with Dak has been that they feel like, we can open it up now. He's better than Cooper Rush. Let's go to football.
He's better.
Yeah, but they don't. I think they still need to be a run team. I thought they didn't run enough against Green Bay. They were getting 5 yards a pop. Pollard was great, and they threw 46 times.
They should run the ball more. 46 times is too much to throw for most teams to throw. So I would agree that they need to run the football. But against this Vikings defense, again, if you can't move the ball via the air, then there are going to be those questions coming up.
Can you imagine what a problem it would be if against a defense like the Vikings you threw multiple red zone interceptions? You would really be indicted as a quarterback. I can't imagine anybody that would do that, much less an alleged MVP. All right, so here's a question for you. Who is the better quarterback in this football game?
The Cowboys.
Well,
it's a close one.
I do think your buddy Bill Simmons, who does his best podcast with you, but even without you, does a great job. Said at the beginning of the year that Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins with better PR, and I thought that was a little harsh. But here are some numbers for you, and you can tell me left or right which quarterback you would prefer. So you have two quarterbacks, and the spoiler alert is there's no way to pick between them. Right. They are identical. I mean, one has one more playoff loss, also means one more playoff appearance. So call that the passer rating. It's identical. And you figured out at this point who they are. You don't know which side is which. It's obviously Dak and Kirk. And I'll be honest, I made the graphic, or I helped, I asked for the graphic. I didn't know who was on the left and right. I had forgotten. But they're the same guy.
Right.
Statistically. Now, theoretically, one thing that is not shown there has been, yes, but Dak is far more dangerous with his legs. But he doesn't really have that element in his game anymore. Or at least we have not seen it as we had seen it earlier in his career. So I do think, and what's also interesting about this particular game is there's a lot of other similarities. They're both quarterbacks who played the franchise tag game and probably got a contract. They won the franchise tag game and got a contract maybe a little greater than their play demands. And they're quarterbacks who this year are having their worst passer ratings in Dak, it's his whole career in a small sample, for Kirk since he's been a Viking. Their teams are winning despite the fact that they are not having exceptional years by their own standards. And so I don't think Dak versus Cooper Rush is an interesting conversation. I do think Dak versus Kirk Cousins is, which makes the whole idea of the Cowboys a more fascinating one, Wilds, because why don't people believe in the Vikings? Because of Kirk Cousins.
I know, but I'm going to show you a tweet from Kevin Seifert. So the fact that the Vikings are still underdogs here, I don't know if the line has moved at 1.5. Point and a half, so it's at 1. Can we show the tweet there, Hubs, from Kevin Seifert? Here we go. Turn the page today from Buffalo. It's from yesterday. If that holds, Vikings would be the 4th team since 1970 to be a regular season home underdog with an 8-1 record or better, and 2 of those instances featured backup QBs. So the question to you, Geoff, is this. The Vikings beat the Bills, and granted it was wacky, but they won. If they beat Dallas, kind of flip this question on its head, do you think it's time to just we have to universally respect the Vikings?
Probably.
Probably, or that's a no. That's actually a no.
Look, they're 7-0 this year in one-score games.
Yep.
Right.
That is highly unlikely to continue throughout the season. Right. So they win another one-score game, that'll be the thing. Well, they're 8-0 one-score games. That's going to change.
Football.
No, but it does matter because
football analysis has gotten too smart, and I mean that in a good way. And this is people understand things like what Geoff just said more so than they ever have in the past. That turnover luck regresses to the mean. That one-score game luck regresses to the mean. And because of that, people are less reliant on the standings to determine who the best teams are than ever before. Yes. And I think what the Vikings, I think the Vikings are not getting enough credit for the Bills game because everyone's like, oh, it's just because Josh Allen fumbled in the end zone.
Right.
Well, right before that, they had a 1st and goal from the 1. So they were in position even before that. They just couldn't punch it in.
Yep.
But I think there is the point I was trying to make, Geoff, is there is the skepticism about the Vikings is almost exclusively about Kirk. Yet that doesn't exist for the Cowboys in relation to Dak, and I don't know what Dak has
accomplished. Because the Cowboys' defense is better.
No, but I don't know what Dak has accomplished that Kirk hasn't. I just don't see why one guy is viewed in a separate tier than the other.
That's certainly fair that he hasn't accomplished anything more than Cousins has in his career, but the potential has always been there. The injury obviously set him back a little bit. But for the Vikings, what do they do well? If you were to say, this is the Minnesota Vikings team, this is what they do well. But they don't throw the ball downfield to him. Cousins does not throw the ball downfield.
They force turnovers and Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson's fabulous. I get it, but they don't even use him well enough. They don't throw the ball downfield. They don't have explosive pass plays. He used to make great catches for them to get these chunk plays. That's the problem. What do they do well? If you were to say the Vikings are 8-1, I believe in them. What do they do well? And everyone, I guess they have a good wide receiver like that. That is why people don't believe in them.
They also do a good job dressing up in the plane too.
Yes,
it's good team unity.
Good
We're talking about with the Warriors,
joy, and desire.
Aaron Rodgers is hot. 1-game winning streak. Will it continue tonight? We discuss. First things first.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.